Hello, everyone. I've made a mistake. Let's get these lights on. Let's turn this one down. Make it sexy. Yeah, there we go. That's a little more like it. Oh, yeah. I finally got to a point where the price on the Xbox refrigerator got low enough that I'm like, well, gonna have to get one of those now. It's hit gimmick pricing. It's hit let's pick up one of these stupid things for, barely any money. And so I got one. Set it up this morning. Reading through the the manual that comes with it and so on and so forth, and I was like, gosh, as someone who occasionally needs cold drinks and I have to keep them in the freezer and all this other stuff, I suppose a refrigerator wouldn't be the worst idea. I can't really keep a refrigerator in this room long term because if refrigerators emit heat and this room gets hot enough as it is, so whatever. I started flipping through the manual, and it's like, this cooler works best if the drinks you put in it are already cold. It's like, wait, what? And it's like, yeah, this type of cooler works. If it's too hot outside, it's not going to work as well. And you should really not run it all the time. You should, if you're gonna fill it up and turn it on and use it and keep your drinks cold, and then don't. I was like, oh, this thing is a miserable piece of garbage. This thing is an absolute piece of trash. And so I did fill it full of drinks. I'm gonna take my headphones off here so I can go crack this open and see if they've cooled down at all. Let's find out. No. The answer is no. Nope. So, the other thing it does is if you plug it in and the refrigeration is turned off, the lights still work on it. So if you just wanted a fancy lit up fake Xbox, you can do that too. And yeah, it's a real piece of shit. How do they refer to it? I don't have the box in front of me here. Yeah, it's replica mini fridge thermoelectric cooler. And thermoelectric cooler, I think, means what we're talking about here is like, oh, it's not a real fridge. But it does say mini fridge on it. And I guess maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's one of those if you spell chicken wrong, it doesn't have to actually be chicken. Maybe if you write fridge instead of refrigerator, then legally you can get off. I like to get off legally. Not as much as I like to get off illegally, but well, these days, take what you can get. So yeah, I don't know. Like I think when I was reading on the thermoelectric, I was like, oh, that sounds fancy. Is this like a new style of cooler that works better than whatever else? And no, the Xbox refrigerator is some kind of sick joke. So I'm glad that I did not pay very much for it at all. Because that would, that would have been a real bummer. That I, waited until it had reached a fairly ridiculous price and was like, okay, yeah, let's get one of these stupid things. And it is indeed a stupid thing. That's why I put another drink in the freezer, which the freezer did its job. And I've got another one of these red cons here. Cali Splash. Again, it's just like pictures of fruits. We got this is like an orange, this is like an apple, California things, hurricane, tropical storms. Yeah. So that's I don't know. That's been kind of the thing these last 2 or 3 days, is this increasing alarm around, the California is it's gonna be there's a hurricane headed your way. There's a category 4 hurricane headed your way, and I'm like, that's not a thing that happens in California, but apparently it does. This is like the first ever tropical storm watch I think California has ever had. And so I think Sunday night it'll depending on where you are, San Diego's going to get it earlier and blah blah blah. I think by the time it gets up, I'm up in Ventura County a little bit, and so I'm not gonna, we're not getting the worst of it, but I think we'll still get a few inches of rain in about a 6-hour period, which is a whole lot of rain in a very short amount of time. So, and it will all happen over at night. It will all happen in the middle of the night. So I need to try to at least take a look at the garage. The only issues I've ever had here water-wise has been a leaky window, which we had supposedly fixed up. We'll see. And the garage. Sometimes some water will leak under stuff. We'll see. I don't know. Let's crack this fucking thing open. Yeah, Las Vegas is getting some stuff. Yeah, no basements, no sump pumps, none of that stuff. No one's got anything. I'm on this house sits on a concrete slab. There isn't even like a foundation with a crawl space, which I had up in Northern California. This is nice. This is a nice, refreshing, fruity flavor. This is a fruit punch flavor. This smells fantastic. I am excited about this. It's like a Capri Sun kind of fruit punch vibe that I'm getting. Not the super sweet Hawaiian punch fruit punch, more of a little subdued. Let's find out. That's very nice. This is refreshing. Not my, again, I think I skew more towards the Hawaiian punch end of the fruit punch spectrum. This is, again, more on the kind of Capri Sun, kind of like, you bought a healthy fruit punch for your children, which my kids hate. But I still like quite a bit. And this is good. Yeah, nice, refreshing, easy. A nice, easy drink on the Cali Splash. Let's get the list up so we can move forward here and play some Mortal Kombat. That beta started at 8 a.m. And it will run all weekend for pre-order people. I think it's only on consoles. The pre-order beta is not happening on PC. So I've got the PlayStation 5 version here. We'll get into that. It's got 2 new playable characters and 1 new cameo compared to the online stress test they did a little while ago. And there are a few more options on the menu in terms of like the color blindness settings in there. And like the fatalities are more like the real fatalities and not just like hit down a couple times and hit a button. It looks like they're putting actual motions into it now. What were we doing? We're getting the list up. Is Luke in it? Sadly, I have not seen Luke, so how good could it be really? We got the next best thing though, Johnny Cage. Who's like rich Luke, I suppose. The list. I'm over here thinking about Johnny Cage. Okay. There you have it. We have 136 drinks on the list. It's, boy, it has been a long road with these things. That's a lot of different drinks. And I still have some more to try here. There's still these spike shooters, which are a little frightening. A couple flavors of Kuma. Got to drink some Kuma around these parts. Guzzle some bear. You know what I'm talking about. This is a really nice drink. Okay. It's better than Redcon 1 Vice City, which is the flavor we tried last time. As I'm kind of like scrolling my way up the list here, I think it's better than a Rise Fuel Sunny D. These Rise Fuel drinks are close, man, because like a Sunny D flavored energy drink seems like the sort of thing that could be a top 5 flavor, but they don't pull it off quite as well as you want. It's better than both of these WWE drinks. Yeah, so it's better than Ruthless Raspberry. I would probably take it over the Rockstar TMGS, to be honest. Is it better than Grizzly Energy Orange Mango? I really want to order a case of this after having the one that someone sent in. You know what? This is moving up the list. This is better than a C4 Starburst Cherry. I would take it over a Rain Tropical Storm, as well as a C4 Mango Foxtrot. But the C4 Orange Cream is real good. That's a tough one. But I think what we're going to do... There it is. It's our new number 8. Wow. Yeah, Redcon 1 Cali Splash. Hell of a drink. Congratulations to Kenny Omega for all that he's done in the energy drink world. You love fighting games, but you're awful at all of them. What's the best one out for scrubs like me? Asks cousin from Boston. I think the modern controls in Street Fighter 6 are very friendly. And will help you do the things that you might not understand how to do. You know, the like inputting moves and whatever else, right? It's I think that I tend to think that Street Fighter 6 is a wonderful game, and solid for a lot of different skill levels as far as I can tell. So yeah, I would probably give that. There's a demo for that, right? Like I saw it. Let me double check on Steam, but I'm pretty sure there is a demo for Street Fighter 6 now. Yeah, there is. Maybe there always was, and I just didn't. Yeah, it says June 1st, but yeah, there's a demo for that you can download, so you could theoretically, get in there and give that a look. Give that a Luke. Luke at that. demo and see what you think. I don't know if that exists on consoles or not. It might. I don't actually know. I don't remember, but it probably has the modern anyway. Speaking of fighting games, let's get into this Mortal Kombat 1 thing. What is this thing? Let's go over here to the wonderful world of the PlayStation 5. Okay, what do I need to do to make this work here? I need to... Nope, that's not... I'm reaching for buttons that were on a different monitor. I need to reach for my remote control. I need to reach for my remote control here. That is not... OLED care menu. No, I'm trying to... There we go. Inputs. HDMI 1. And the PlayStation should be routed through all of that. It indeed is. And I'm hearing it in my headphones, so that's nice. Okay. Great. And that all sounds okay on, yeah, I've got the capture card audio on, but it's not up super loud, so hopefully that'll be okay. What are we doing? This thing. I do want to turn this up in my headphones a little bit because I want to hear quips and whatnot. I needed to change. Hang on a sec. Okay. I can push this button and do exactly what I was trying to do. Man. Whoever set up this Stream Deck is a fucking genius. Oh, wait. It was me. Why don't we just start with a little campaign just to kind of try to loosen up here.
Johnny Cage. Frost.
I'll drop it down a notch. Wow, that's oh.
Round 2, fight.
Was that just he went around and just turned around and yelled fuck? Is that what just happened there? Uh-oh. Let's see what this, So he doesn't have a fucking projectile anymore, does he? He's got, well... The laughing, like the crowd laughing in the background is pretty fucking silly. That's real silly. Yeah, it doesn't look like he has... Ballbuster hype. Fatal blow. Why does he have 3? Oh, okay, so that's just kind of a... So he's got himself a little teleport there. And then the finisher, what do we got here? Forward, back, down, triangle.
Talk about talent. Meet Hollywood's newest star.
Fatality. Johnny Cage wins.
That guy's missing his face. Yeah, definitely like a David Duchovny-esque look here, at least up close. Yeah, so he has this, I guess it's, this hype meter or whatever, the star meter that he has that builds up. Someone in chat, it scrolled away, but someone said that you can cancel specials into specials when you have hype. Which is... That's a weird... I don't...
Fight.
You want these?
There's something like
You won't be in the sequel.
Johnny Cage is weird. They made Johnny Cage weird. Good weird or bad weird? I don't know. It's Uh-oh. Okay. So now if I now what do I do that meter is full? Looks like you do the move and then hit L2 afterwards.
I can do this all.
Oh wait, that generates hype. I see. That's even weirder. Okay, so they added taunts to kind of all of his fucking moves. So like if you hit L2 on the end of that shadow kick, he leaves his foot in the air for a while and talks shit. That's kind of fucking awesome. That's enough with the middle fingers, man. It's just too much.
Round 1.
What the fuck? And then more? Like, come on now. Like, it's like a fucking... what is with Warner Brothers, man? This is like an episode of AEW Dynamite now with all these middle fingers. Is he gonna say the word shit like 9 times now? That didn't, yeah. What's the ball? Okay, that's back down square.
You can't have too much cake.
Round 2, fight.
Are you looking at me?
Oh, will he just like not even?
You like that?
That's right.
So now that he's full up, what does he do? Now that I'm full of hype, like what is that? Hype. That's forward, down, back, circle. And that is also forward, down, back, circle. Oh boy, I wish I knew what I could do now that I've done this. Okay, that's what I can do. Yeah, like he can, it's like, it's not quite, I mean, you know, maybe, let's say, slightly similar to like the Alpha custom combo where shit just cancels into shit or something, but... It's a neat idea.
Finish him.
All right, what's our cameo fatality? Back down, back R1.
Fatality. Johnny Cage wins.
Am I finding the game sluggish in the same way Street Fighter V was? Brown Lantern says I'm having a tough time with the movement and whatnot. You know, they're different. You know, Street Fighter movement and Mortal Kombat movement are pretty different things. You know, I think that the movement in this. You know, stiff isn't the word, but it's
Round 1, fight.
you know, it is dash based, you know, it really is. It wants you to kind of dash in and out a little bit like this. Man, you can get like fucking 3/4 of a hype meter off of one shadow kick if you're an asshole.
You want these?
The fuck is that about?
Money shot.
Okay, let's try this. Uh-oh. Damn it. Didn't really get to do much with it.
You can't have too much cake.
Round 2, fight.
Like, this might be the new... The sunglasses throw... You know, we'd have to really think about it, I guess. But it might be the new, like, dumbest move in Mortal Kombat history. Like, you thought it was the MK3 little reptile, like, run dash thing, but...
Finish him.
Let's look at this Johnny Cage one again. There it is. Forward, back down. That's what.
Talk about talent. Meet Hollywood's newest star.
Johnny Cage seems like he'll be like tricky
Fatality.
in some really
Johnny
neat ways,
Cage
but
wins.
maybe not a character I want to dive into online with immediately. Like, they definitely made him. And, you know, some of this stuff has been going this way for a little while. Like, I think Johnny Cage is over That's a pretty iconic. It's a pretty good duo right there.
Round one, fight.
Oh, I see. You can just...
You can't have too much.
I need to do it even
Round
faster
two,
than...
fight.
Oh, Jesus. Brutal.
That's a wrap. You want this?
Really good sound effects out of him as well, like on some of these hits. His... Oh, no. Let's do the... I guess we'll do the... Yeah, right. Uh-oh. Whoops.
Bring it.
Johnny Cage wins.
Cage is really interesting. I don't know. Like I'm into this. Like I don't know. I don't know that I would play a lot as Johnny Cage, but I am really into this idea of what they have, of how they have constructed him and like his move set and all the other shit that he has now. The middle fingers are a bit much. Bit much. Because at first you hear, you see the move list and go like, wait, he doesn't have a projectile anymore. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, Johnny Cage has got to have at least one, if not two projectiles. What the fuck is going on? That's ridiculous, but, oh, okay.
You want these? You can't have too much cake.
Round two, fight.
Like in that Fatality, he had a real David Duchovny look, but like I feel like from this side view, he kind of looks like the dude from fucking the fuck's the name of that show? Burn Notice.
Finish her. Fatality. Johnny Cage wins.
But not so much from that view there. Oh, that's the... Okay. Thank you for your playing. Well, let's take a look at Lee May here before we...
Lee May. Kano. Round one, fight.
Nova Blast, Sky Lantern, Fu Tang. Chain reactions. We got 2 back forwards with square and circle, and 2 down backs with the other 2 buttons. Okay. Oh yeah, oh, that's a whole thing, huh? Okay, well, a little dragon thing here. Oh, that doesn't hit on the background. Oh, a little lantern fun here. She seems neat. All these fucking particle effects. Is this Killer Instinct or something? What the hell are we doing? Oh, that's cool. Like if you EX it, you get that instead. That's neat. Is that lantern gonna have like 9 different ways to do it? Like close lantern and far lantern and... Nope. Okay. Unblockable lantern. Enhanced Fu-Tang. If you know what I mean. No meter.
Finish him.
Oh, okay. Forward, back, forward, X. Oh, right. I remember this from a trailer. Yay!
Fatality.
That's just silly.
Lee May wins.
Lee May feels very straightforward. I mean, especially like in comparison to Johnny Cage. You go like, oh yeah, okay, this flip kick, I know what it does. This projectile, I know what it does. This rushing attack, like that. You do it. You're like, okay, I see where that might come in handy. The lantern is maybe the exception there, I suppose.
Fight.
All these Kanos. They got more of their like punish indicators and escape failed notices on screen than they did in that pre-order beta. I mean, presumably this is like damn close to final. Well, I guess we don't know. Maybe this is like one of those old build situations, but I would think that, with the game, we're basically like a month out. This is probably at least mostly representative of what these characters will be like at launch. I guess we don't, who can say, but meter burn lantern is messed up, you say?
Round 1, fight.
Can you meter burn lantern? That was... It doesn't look like you can. Flipping heel kick in the air. Oh, okay. Oh, look at that. That's neat. I wish, it's not like this screen is... I get that you want to have, like, here's some top-line moves for you to see and go, like, oh, yeah, here's the stuff you're going to do. But to leave, like, other special moves off of this list and be like, wait a minute, no, down here you've got these that are not represented there. I wish that they... Because, again, the screen's half empty. You know? And I already forgot how to do it. Yeah, cool. That's fucking neat. Yeah, they've done that for the past few games, I think. But yeah, you know, it makes sense. New players might not need all that info or whatever. It might be more than they can handle or something, but I don't know. Oh, disturbing the peace is forbidden. How about that? Oh, ah. Oh, okay. So EX projectile kind of bounces him towards you for some follow-up. That's kind of cool. The press X to show all moves at the bottom takes you to the full move list. So you can go to all the different tabs and everything. Yeah. She seems fun.
Round one, fight.
Oh. Up. What do we got that's gonna like pop a motherfucker up in the air? That's not just the uppercut. High heel back and X? No, because that's got follow-ups and stuff. Pancration champion. That's me. Like specifically for air combo use is what I'm looking for here. Aerial attacks. Oh, that's when you're already up there. Okay. Let's try.
You can't delude me.
Round two, fight.
No, that kicks too far away. Nope. That won't do it. What else? Nova Burst. Back and triangle, followed by square. Let's try that. Nope. Seeking Sanctuary. Bop, bop, bop. Nope.
Finish.
Let's do Kano's finisher here. Back down forward. Step aside, lady.
Fatality. Lee May wins. Round one, fight.
What else? Let's see. Triangle, square, circle. Oh. Rough Zuffa. How about... bop, 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 bop. Nice little circle. Why does it just say NA? That's a fun, neat little combo. Anything else here that looks like it might pop someone up into the air? Lion tail. Overhead. Facing left. So it's forward and circle. No, that's not going to do it. No, the circle X circle hops too far away, so it's not something you can jump up and chase. That thing goes so, like, it's such a big arc on that fucking kick. It's so cool. Like that. Oh. Kano has this to say. All right, fight over. You got eaten by like a fucking celestial dog or something. Oh, apparently not. I didn't realize she was a cop. Pair her up with Stryker. Oh, wow. Nope, that's not. Where is Stryker? Stryker's a cameo. Alright. But, extremely unlikely to appear as a playable character. I might need to turn it down to my headphones a little bit. I feel like I'm yelling. So I got the game on. Kano playable? Doubt it. With Kano, like with MK1 Kano already being on the cameo roster, you know, there'll be cases where there's both, right? But those cases are going to be like, hey man, Sub-Zero is actually multiple dudes, and so there's like 9 different Sub-Zeros or whatever. Like that'll probably be the exception, at least at first. But I can't imagine Kano makes it onto the playable, especially at launch. I mean, they're... Is that gonna do it? Would that... No, I can't get up off the ground fast enough.
Disturbing the peace is forbidden.
Round 2, fight!
It just covers so much screen.
Fatality. Lee May
Liu Kang says, thank you. You're welcome, Liu Kang. Okay. Let's try some Li Mei on the internet.
Johnny Cage, Li Mei, Frost, Kano, Cage Mansion.
Who's on second, Cage?
No! Who's on first? What's on second?
Now we have to fight. How dare you?
Round one, fight.
Oh, I guess the lantern might be my way to get air combos going, huh?
Round two, fight.
Oops. Oh. Okay, good.
I wouldn't resist the rest.
Final round, fight.
The move list for his fatal blow looked like it had like some other shit on it, like you could like either do it a couple different ways or that there was some trick to it. I don't know.
Finish him.
That'll work. Whatever. Oh, okay. Yeah, that lantern, for as much as it seems like it's up in the air, it seems like it kind of covers a lot of space.
Johnny K. Li Mei, Kano Frost, the Tea House.
It'll be a Sundo set police drama. First constable.
Earthrealmers are entertained by such drivel?
She's mad about it. Unnecessary. Wildly unnecessary.
2, fight!
Oh, yeah, I don't know what that is. Here, just...
Lee May wins.
Sure.
Round 1, fight!
That really carries a character across the fucking screen. You can really get somebody in the corner. I'm trying to, yeah. I'm trying to jump back in the corner so I can get, you know, fucked over a few more times. Thinking that's... Wow. Uh-oh. That's bad. I like that it's a big fucking old-timey almost looking film camera.
Round 2, fight!
Oh, huh. Interesting. So I can like attack in the air, and even if it's blocked, I can still kind of come out of it with that fucking flip kick. That's neat. Caught him.
Brutality. Lee May wins.
Whatever. Okay. Okay. This is feeling all right. Yeah, I came out of that online the stress test thing they did in June or July or whatever it was. Feeling a little iffy about stuff, but I think I don't know that might have just been because most of the people playing it were fucking crushing me. Now that I'm like it's not hey, I'm winning and now this game is good. It's more like I'm getting my shit in. And so when you start to do that, you know, you can feel the game. This is a game that I think if you're at a real big skill disadvantage, it's one of those games where you feel like you're barely playing. Like you burn your meter on the combo breaker and then you're like, well, now I'm just fucked. We're gonna bounce around for a while. And if anything, you know, the impression I get from how the cameos can be used are, you know, that some of that is around air combos and extending combos and what have you. And so you know, I wonder if that will end up being like, will this end up being more of an air combo game, which that sounds like what they're going for. Pick the stage, man. There you go.
Mansion.
How do you know so much about policing?
My mom was a cop. You did not fuck with her.
Round 1, fight.
Oh. Shit. Right. Okay, so you can hold it down and he'll dance for a bit. I guess, right? So I wonder if the move there is to just wait it out.
You won't be in seat 1.
Round 2, fight.
Oh, that's frustrating. Yeah, there's that hot punish. I punched you once and take it. Well,
Another perfect take.
Brutality.
all right.
Johnny Cage wins.
Okay.
Round 1, fight.
What?
Round 2, fight.
Oh, yeah. I gotta watch for that overhead. I keep trying to block low, and that's not the thing to do there. Oof.
You can't have too much cake.
Final round. Fight.
That's a weird starting position right next to each other like that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just getting fucked up, man. Oh, that's it. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Woo. Nice.
Finish her.
Yeah! Bring it!
Johnny Cage wins.
Oh, I should have next opponented. Oh, well. That would have been faster. Is Johnny Cage a worse character than Luke? I don't think so. Luke sucks in a really different way. And I love Luke.
Lee May. Lee May. Frost. Sonya Blade. Cage Mansion.
What are you? A shapeshifter? I prefer Master of Illusion.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. Does Johnny Cage ever go beast mode, baby? I don't think so. I don't think he's capable of it.
Round one. Fight.
There, that's the combo. That's the air launcher. It's that whatever that roll is that this other guy's doing. Yeah, there it is.
Next time, stay out of
Round two.
trouble.
Fight.
Yeah, that was it. Oh. I'm jumping, I'm jumping, I'm jumping. We're not gonna get out of that. Oh, okay.
Finish her. Fatality. Lee May wins.
Okay. A little hitchy on the rematch.
Round one. Fight.
Oh my gosh. Jesus.
Next time, stay out of
Round
trouble.
2. Fight.
Not really what I meant to do there. But the lantern came out nonetheless. Oh my god. Final. No? Cool. Whew.
Finish her.
Got fucked up pretty bad there.
Lee May wins.
Got fucked up pretty bad there. Yeah, I mean it is Friday, so you would think that you would see some Quan Chi, but you know Quan Chi's DLC, so you gotta let's stick with Lee May because at least you know I feel like if I started over with somebody else, it would go even worse.
The tea house.
The tea house.
Never at court.
They were banished by my mother's decree.
Oh. The response to that should be, oh, okay, not now we have to fight. Like, oh, thank you for answering me. Anyway, I'll see you around.
Fight.
Justice is for all.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh. Which way am I going? Yeah. Okay. Huh. Little of this, and then a little of that, and then your neck, and then throw you in there, and then okay.
Finish her. Fatality.
And then I can do a flip. Yay! Thanks, lady, for icing my opponent up and then punching her flesh off. I'm gonna do a flip. Yay! I like it. How are the haptics? They seem fine. I don't know. They don't seem You know, it's not you're blocking and stuff with the triggers, but it's not like a
Kano. Frost.
the
Cage
triggers really don't come into play for too much of that stuff. So it's not like they're using the PlayStation trigger haptic stuff. So it's really just like, yo, man, it vibrates. Feels fine.
Round 1. Fight.
Oh boy. Haha.
Where's your motivation?
I don't know.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh. Felt like I maybe could have pulled that round out, but I did not.
Kenshin wins.
Man. Yeah, it's, you know,
Sub-Zero. Kano. Frost. The Tea House.
like I said, I think there's a certain element of like,
My clan isn't subject to your jurisdiction.
It is, now that you've plotted against Outworld.
oh my. I guess the thing I would say is when I'm losing these matches, I don't often feel like I'm learning anything, if you know what I mean. Or I'm not learning that much. In mirror matches, I'm learning a little bit because you see people do stuff and you're like, oh, I didn't know that that was a thing, but... Oh. Okay, so is that the downside of the big arc kick, is that you can just uppercut that fucking thing out of the air over and over again? That's not gonna combo. Oh, I guess that sort of, well, we sort of did a thing. Oh, man. Oh, man. Whoa. What? Feel the chill. That's the thing that ninja just said.
Disturbing the
Final round. Fight.
Oops. Yeah. Bop, bop, bop. Oh, we gotta... Oops. Yeah, can I break that? Just let me break that. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's move on. Do a few more of these. And then I want to see Jax's fatality. And then, I don't know. Maybe we'll do something else.
Sub-Zero.
I'm gonna stick with what I got here because I feel like I'm still trying to figure stuff out. Lee May seems like, I feel like of the characters that I've played so far, which are just the ones that are in here,
Sonya Blade. Frost. Gate Mansion.
Turn yourself in, Bihan.
Hell will freeze before that happens.
it's like if it's not her, it's Sub-Zero so far for me. I wonder if they're doing anything really weird with Scorpion, since, you know, Scorpion hasn't really appeared in the beta. Have they shown? I guess I should go watch some of those trailers. I know is some Scorpion gameplay out there, right? It's not.
I will prevail.
Round 2. Fight.
Oops. Nope. Gotta keep myself from mashing those buttons because it's fucking up the combo I'm attempting to do. That one. Oops.
Finish him. Fatality. Lee May.
And again with the flip. Yay!
Round 1. Fight.
Ah! Ah! That's not. See, I'm mashing the button and getting that instead of hitting that and doing that. That's what I'm trying to do. Something closer to that, anyway. Oh, right under it. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. But it worked out.
Do not obstruct justice.
Round 2. Fight.
That's. I did not mean hit the throw button. There, that's for sure. Look at me. I'm over here. I'm over here. It's hard to like the thing with the assist character, and this is a problem I think I have in all games that have them, is remembering they exist and working them into what I'm doing, you know? Like it's really
Fight.
it's a real out of sight, out of mind sort of thing. Ugh. Oh, wow. Oh, come on now. Oh, whew.
I will prevail.
Round 2. Fight.
Uh-oh. Ho, ho, ho. Nice when that works out. Whew. This guy quit? What happened? Who quits? Like it's faster to just go to the menu. Okay.
Lee May wins.
Okay. Is the menu ever going to show up here, or did something sketchy happen? All right. Well, it's nice. I mean, this is a nice, you know, relaxing little screen here. With this, I'm going to run to the restroom. I'll come back and, I don't know, maybe we'll do a couple more of these or find our way onto something else a little bit. But in the meantime, enjoy this serenity. Yeah, we're locked up. Speaking of haptics, I gotta say, one of my favorite haptic things as of late is in this PlayStation 5 firmware beta. In the accessibility settings, you can turn on haptics in the menu and get a little vibration each time you move around, and I really like that. So moving this around, it feels real good. Feels real good. If these Redcon 1 Cali Splashes were not energy drinks, I would crack another one open right now. It's a tasty beverage.
Sub-Zero. Jax.
Let's just see the thing. We just need to see the thing. I just want to see the thing.
Round 1. Fight!
I feel like I have, as far as the cameos, like I have the least of a read on how to use Jax effectively. Oh. I do like that his ground pound hits both players, though.
Round 2. Fight!
Oops, shit. Damn it.
Brutality. Sub-Zero wins.
Come on now. I wonder if they will just put finishing moves on the, you know, because they're on the screen, the menus here in the beta just freely available. I wonder if they will do that in the final game, or if there'll be some kind of like, hey, they only show up after you've done them once. And
Round 1. Fight!
I guess they still haven't really talked a lot about, like, you know, just the straight up, like, content of the game. You know, they've announced characters and whatever else, but, like, you know, what will the crypt look like, assuming it's in there, you know? All right. Down, forward, down, R1.
Finish her.
No, Jax, no!
Sub-Zero wins.
You mess up the cameo finishers, the cameo runs in and fucks it up for you, so you really only get one shot at those. Maybe it's further range. Maybe the range is longer, probably.
Round 1. Fight!
The stuff these motherfuckers say during the fight is some real corny shit. And I like that.
Fight.
Like, that's just dumb. Are you hibernate? Like, I mean, because he's the ice guy, right? So people hibernate because it's, you know. Like, they should just go whole hog with it, and he should be like, "Do you want to build a snowman?" All right, what was that? Let's not fuck it up this time if we can avoid it. Down, forward, down, R1. There we go. Hooray! This game's great. Look at this. God damn, man.
Fatality. Sub-Zero wins.
You can't ask for much more than that. You know? It's a great looking boot. He grows so big he's got to like crouch under the, you know, like the ceiling of the background, like that. It is, as they say, it's good shit. It's good shit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to the storyline and how they kind of retell the story or whatever. I think, you know, the way that they seem to be casting the characters, or kind of recasting the characters' roles in a similar conflict, I think is really neat.
Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight.
All kinds of shit happening.
Brutality. Sub-Zero wins.
All right. Well, let me do a couple more online fights, and then we'll move forward here. Yeah, fun game. I just, you know, it's, and I've the last handful of Mortal Kombats have been this way, where it's like, you know, they can be lengthy juggles, and sometimes it's not super fun to be on the receiving end of that stuff. And that's why I say, you know, the matches I'm losing in Street Fighter 6, I feel like I am coming away from them thinking, you know, like things happen in those fights that I go like, okay, like maybe I need to think of this, or, you know, here's the thing I wasn't considering that I need to
Kano.
consider, you know. And
Frost.
I don't, you know, and it's a beta and whatever else, and
My
but
clan
I
isn't subject to your jurisdiction.
I don't
It
feel
is.
like I'm coming
Now
away
that
from
you've
these
plotted
fights, these
against
losses
outlaws.
that I'm having here, like with any thought other than fuck, man. Like that's all I can muster. It's just like shit. I get the fucking shit beat out of me. What do I do differently? I guess fucking,
Fight.
you know, it becomes like, okay, I need to learn to make sure that I'm aware that that combo hits low or is an overhead, or, you know, it's, I guess, that sort of stuff if I really try to think about it. Yeah, that's right. Walked across the screen, punched you twice. Deal with it. But yeah, there's just a, yeah, I don't know. Like I guess I'd say it feels like the knowledge comes more from, and you know, I guess Street Fighter's this way too, but like I feel like the big stuff I need to know here is what to look out for on these combos, like when it goes high, when it goes low, you know, when it goes overhead. Like it really, like it feels like even at low level play, there's a real like learn the matchup sort of scenario happening, right? God damn it! I need to stop. I'm talking and jumping at the same time. Never works out.
Fight.
Was it forward down forward R1? No, it was back down back R1. Whatever it was.
Sub-Zero wins.
Well, I want a rematch. What about me now? Yeah, it's well, I don't know. On some level, that is all fighting games. Maybe just this game does it in a slightly different order than low to intermediate level Street Fighter does, I guess. Maybe that's the difference. Is what you have to learn when is slightly different, but I'm probably overthinking it.
Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. Like, this was a
Frost.
Smash Brothers clone, he would have to have even more ways to say the word Sub-Zero.
The ghost of combat past.
Round one.
Whoa, Hitchy.
Fight.
That's, yeah. Like, I don't even consistently remember, like when I walk up on someone who's frozen, I don't know immediately what I want to do. Like, what should I actually do here? I gotta hurry up and think of that because I'm almost over there. I think there's just there's a certain amount of like old Mortal Kombat in me that's just like, I'm gonna walk over there and uppercut that motherfucker. Which would be better than what I do most of the time, honestly. This runs like shit, man. This is running bad.
Round two. Fight.
Oops. Ah, not good. Not good.
Finish him.
Yay. This is bad from a latency perspective.
Sub-Zero wins.
Other matches felt good. I don't know. That's yeah. I'd say that, like, from a netcode perspective, it's felt pretty nice. Yeah. I'm trying to think you know what? Let's do one more. Let's do one more Sub-Zero. I'm enjoying some Sub-Zero. Ping looks good. This other guy's on Wi-Fi. Well, whatever. Everyone's in a different situation. But, like, I was just like, hey, man, you should just plug it in. Yes, now we're talking.
We can't both exist. We won't for much longer.
Sub-Zeros and Frosts all around.
Round 1, fight.
Let's do this forever. Oops, shit. Ah. Ah, shit.
Round 2, fight.
Oh, I didn't think that. I did not think that would hit. Yikes. That's not going to land, though, right? Oh, it is. Look at that. I wonder if I could have blocked that, or if I had any opportunity to, if that technically counts as a juggle, like juggle into the fatal blow. I guess you...
Finish him.
Nice. It's like this was a match where I felt like I got my shit in a little bit, but I still lost. But I don't immediately have the answer for, like, what should I have done differently that time, other than just like, don't fuck up. If you want characters to, like, go, just hit the button, man. What? Don't fucking wait for me. I already hit this. Okay. Okay, you're fine. Yeah, but this has a few more settings and things in it, I think, than the... You know, you can... that defaults to on if you want the numbers in the life bars. That is new. You can turn that off, I guess. Yeah, that's all kind of... Yeah, negative edge. I feel like wouldn't they normally have negative edge off? When you turn... I forget. Yep. Does it feel better than 11? I think, you know, there are aspects of it from a speed perspective that I think are really cool. I think that, I think it's very similar to 11. I think that the answer about, like, is it better than 11, I think is going to come down to air combos and cameos, you know, and then how that stuff looks after a month or two of the game being out and people really getting their hands on the full roster and being able to get in there and do some shit. Chrome says, good to see this has modern or easy input controls. That's not really what that option is. They've had those sorts of that's like, do you want a throw button or do you want to have to do like fight stick, like hit 2 buttons to throw type stuff? It is not like a Street Fighter 6 style modern control thing. And then the other thing they've had that for a while, where it's like, do you want to have to put diagonal? Do you want to do diagonal inputs and do full fireball motions, or do you want to do down forward? But like the answer is both kind of work. I don't know. You know, if you roll the joystick, the thing still comes out even when you don't have the diagonals turned on, in my experience. But I don't really know. I've never really messed with those sorts of options. Like I've never really needed to. But I feel like negative edge was always off by default. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I think, again, I think that this game is going to live or die by its air game. That seems like, you know, when I spoke to them back in June about it, and that was the big focus about like, okay, this kind of like expressive air combo setup, and you know, that being kind of the juggle system. And I think that stuff's really fun when you like the stuff I was doing with Sub-Zero, not the most ideal version of that combo, I'm sure, right? But like even that stuff feels good. And I think that stuff's like neat. How fun it ends up being, like when you're playing online for real and working your way up the skill levels and fighting more skilled players and stuff. I don't know. That'll remain to be seen. So, but either way, you know, I'm in for the, you know, the story and the characters and all that. I think they've done some really cool shit, with what they're doing there. And, you know, the game is typically popular enough that there are enough people out there playing at low and middling levels that that you can have a good time with it. And that's always been one of Mortal Kombat's strengths, is its popularity leads to a wide variety of skill sets and different players playing it. And I think that you know, that'll almost certainly be the case here. I think the difference, you know, and we'd have to look at what other games shipped around 11, but I think for me, the big difference right now is like it's coming not that long after the release of Street Fighter 6, a game that is always in the back of my mind in terms of just like, I wish I had more time to play Street Fighter 6. And again, I think that's a game that as I play it and lose and whatever else, I feel like I am able to learn from my mistakes and able to learn from my losses and all of that. And this, especially when we get into the big air juggles and all this other stuff, it's like by the time you realize you fucked up, it's like 8 hits later and you're like, well, what was the one hit I needed to block there? Like, what did I need to block low instead of high? Like, what was the mistake I made? And it's all gone. So, you know, you're thinking about something else. And I think that's, you know, that can be tricky, but we'll see. I don't know. Like that's always, that's kind of been the thing with the last several Mortal Kombats in different ways and stuff, that's kind of been the game they've been making for a long time. And so I think from that perspective, but it also like the cameo stuff and how many cameo characters they can put in here and all of the different combinations and all the different kind of fun references they can make to the series, to the past of Mortal Kombat and everything. I think that stuff's just awesome. And you know, I can't wait to just get in there and fuck around with all that stuff. Which is kind of a different thing. And that's I guess the other thing that's always been different about Mortal Kombat is, for whatever reason, you know, the lore and they've done great stuff with their story modes, but like, you know, even before they were doing this style of story mode, Mortal Kombat always attracted a really wide fan base that seemed to care about the characters and the lore. And I don't know if it's one of those things, it's like the same way that like some guys just really like Snake Eyes and they're like, that guy's sick as fuck. But like, you know, Scorpion and Sub-Zero definitely have a Snake Eyes level of appeal to them, to a certain type of dude. and they're like, I'm gonna go, you know, like the guy that has the snake eyes tattoo, like that, like that's, there's a similar thing there where like, do a coin toss, they're either getting the snake eyes tattoo or the Mortal Kombat dragon, you know, like there's just a certain type of dude that's going to end up with one of those two things. And you know, they're going to keep buying Mortal Kombat, and they, you know, I think that that's a crowd of people that aren't necessarily even into fighting games. They're just like, man, Scorpion is fucking sick. And the story mode is so awesome for those purposes as well. You know, you have people that are like never going to care about the competitive play in Mortal, and they're never going to get online. Maybe they'll play with some friends and play it at a relatively low level and still have a really good time. I think that's the other thing is like, you know, you hit the buttons in this game and cool shit comes out. The inputs have always been very simple. You know, learning the moves is very simple. Like learning the long strings and, you know, juggle combos and wall, you know, like, oh, we're going to bounce off the floor, pop them up, do this, and then hop kick this. And, you know, those players were lost when Mortal Kombat 3 came out, or, you know, when Ultimate came out and they saw some guy at the arcade doing all those Ermac combos. Like they were the guys going, that's fucking cheap. Look at my tattoo. Look at my other tattoo. What do you think about Storm Shadow? Yeah, I think he's cool too. Anyway, stop doing all that fucking air mumbo jumbo bullshit, or I'm going to take you out back and we're going to, you know. But, yeah, I don't know. Like I'm curious to see how this game will land. And if it lands differently, you know, because I think the NetherRealm games tend to kind of like, they're wildly popular in a mainstream way, but when I think about them competitively or whatever, they always seem to like, they have a lane, right? And there's the players that are into the, you know, the Sonic Foxes of the world. Not that there's more than one Sonic Fox, but you know what I mean. The players that get super good at those style of games, and they kind of, you know, they're over here doing their thing. And yeah, I don't know. Like it's interesting. It must be hard to make a new Mortal Kombat game every time out, because I wonder if they are just like aware of just like, hey, here are the different segments. They must, like, there must be enough market research that they're just like, here are the types of people that buy a Mortal Kombat game. There are the people that are going to play it competitively, and that's like a good number of people, but it's not enough for us to base our whole game around it. We can't go and just make a full-on esports experience and go fucking crazy on that shit, because over here we have the much larger pool of guys who want to talk to you about Scorpion or Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow or Sub-Zero. You know what I mean? Will Mortal Kombat ever let you hold back to block? Is that modern controls? No, you don't. That doesn't. You don't want back to block in that game, because instinctively you're kind of holding back anyway to, at least in the older games, like block throws and you know, and whatever else. But like, you are generally holding down, back, and block in some of those situations. Because that matters. Like there are aspects of that you know, at least in the old games, less so nowadays. But I think back to block would be a huge mistake. Injustice has that. Injustice is the game that plays sort of like Mortal Kombat, but is back to block. And that was their attempt to, I think, kind of see like, oh, you know, is that something that makes sense? I don't like it in Injustice. Injustice is fine, but it's not Mortal Kombat, obviously. But yeah, Injustice is a Mortal Kombat style game that is back to block, and I think it's just weird. But yeah. This game's out pretty soon. This is, what is it? It's September, was it 19th? Is that what it is? Let's look here. Yeah, September 19th. That's 4 weeks away. Wow. That's kind of cool. You know, they did it. They announced the game and then shipped it. They kept a really tight window between announce and ship for the game. I think that's pretty rad. Anyway. Let's set this PlayStation stuff aside. And I will turn off this television. Where's the remote control? Oh, it's not even close by. Darn it. Oh, well. Okay, we'll toggle this input back to so I can get this monitor back up. Come on now. Did the monitor turn off? What the fuck does... Oh, yeah, it did. Sure enough. That's weird. I turned the PlayStation off. I wonder if it's doing some CEC bullshit. Display port. Thank you. All right. Now we're back. Cool. Yeah. It's I've kind of been thinking a lot about, you know, Mortal Kombat and kind of where this one will land and all of that. Because I think, you know, before this game got announced, I was wondering if it was going to be a much more dramatic change. And instead, it's a very similar fight system, but obviously the air combo not obvious if you haven't played it, I guess I would say. The cameo stuff and the air combo stuff go hand in hand. You're kind of extending combos with that. You are creating opportunities to get up in the air and to juggle people around while you're up there, knock them down, bounce them back up. You know, so it kind of is giving you new opportunities to do similar types of Mortal Kombat shit that they've done in the past few games. It's just like, oh, now you've got an additional set of tools here for when you do get up in the air, or how to get them up in the air with some of the different cameo choices and whatever else. But at its core, it is ultimately pretty similar to the game that they have been building towards for the past 3 or so. And so in a lot of ways, this game feels like, and we'll see where, you know, it nets out in terms of playable characters and cameos and everything else. I don't necessarily mean this in a everyone's there kind of way, but it kind of feels to me like, I guess, was it Mortal Kombat Armageddon? Was that the last one of the PS2 Xbox run where they were just like, fuck it, man, now everyone's in here. And I don't know, it's a creative fatality system and all this other weird shit. Like, this kind of reminds me of that in a way of just like, oh, you had your trilogy of games and now you're going to make one more. And it's kind of like almost an all-stars or trilogy, you know, a way that kind of sums up the last few games. This game feels like it is summing up the best parts of the last few games and then bringing in the cameo and air combat stuff, if that makes any sense. And I think that's cool. I think, and I think it makes sense when if you can go back and, you know, the interview I did with Ed Boon back in June, talking about like, the big technological underbelly of this game and how they finally updated all the stuff that they hadn't done for the past few games. So like a lot of the focus, it really feels like, is on upgrading to the current version of the Unreal Engine and getting all of their stuff up and running on modern Unreal Engine technology, moving to new consoles and all of that. And so I see, just from a project management perspective, if that's going to be such a huge part of getting this game off the ground is all of that work, then it makes sense for like, oh, well, you know, the parts of the core gameplay are going to end up being like fairly similar to the games that have come before it, because we just need to get this thing up and running. And that's a huge task. And so I think that all kind of makes sense to me. Like it'll just from a game development perspective of how this game came to be, like that stuff makes sense. and also just from a storyline where the last game left off, and being able to tell this like fun new story. Like I wonder if this ends up being a one-off though, in some ways, because or what they do from here. And we'll, maybe we'll see if the story in this game ends in a way that leads to a sequel, I guess is my point. Like, is this the universe they're in now? Or do they do one of these and then they do Injustice 3 and then they come back and then that next game is okay, now we're taking a lot of really crazy chances with our gameplay and really, really making extremely dramatic changes to it, like fundamental changes. What the buttons do, that sort of stuff. Like they did when they went from Mortal Kombat 4 to 5. In some ways, this is kind of the Mortal Kombat 4 of its era. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's unfair. But I was going to say, like they made those 3 arcade games, and then 4 was like kind of like that, but kind of taking some steps in another direction. And this feels like, okay, this is kind of like the 3 games that came before it, but it's kind of hinting at a few things here and there. And, what will that turn into in the future? But then when Mortal Kombat 5 came out, it was like they tossed out, they tossed out pretty much everything from the 4 games that came before it, right? To make a weapon fighter. And those games are a trip, man. When you go back, I've been playing a little bit of, Deadly Alliance recently. Just getting in there and messing around with it and just kind of touching those games again after a really long time. And they're fucking weird. Deadly Alliance and Deception, like they're really strange. Like when you especially when you compare them to the games that came before them and the games that came after them, it's a really weird, like there was a period of years there where they made effectively a completely different game. Like when you go back and play it now, it doesn't really feel like Mortal Kombat. And that's, at the time, was really interesting because, that series had kind of run its course. Like 4 was not awesome. I didn't love MK4. And so, yeah, change it up, man. Like, don't go back and just make games like the ones you were making. Like, do something crazy. And so, like, watching them try to apply some of the concepts of Mortal Kombat to a fully 3D game that also had these weapon stances. So it's like, you could kind of make the comparison to a Soul Calibur in some ways, or, maybe some slight Tekken stuff in there as well. It's such a vastly different game. And Marino's right. The Deadly Alliance was their first attempt at a game that was only on consoles. It didn't go to arcades first. And so, like, that also fits into kind of the larger Midway story, I think, in a lot of ways, where the teams at Midway were trying to find different ways to make their games appealing to home audiences. And what did they need to do? The Mortal Kombat team would eventually go like, well, we have this crazy story mode, and I guess we have Mario Kart, and I guess we have Puzzle Fighter, and I guess we have fucking Archon, but with MK in it. There's just they came up with a lot of crazy solutions that are awesome, and I wish that we would see just a little bit more of that. But it's gimmicky, I get why they don't. I get why they don't go like, all right, Mortal Kombat is back, because like they'd have to spend a ton of time on it, and then like how many people are going to play it, how long are they going to play it, and everything else. So I get why they don't do that stuff. The Archon stuff, the chess like stuff, because at the end of the day, that is just the fighting game with a chess style board on it, the same way Archon was back in the day. They could do that. I don't know. That would be cool. But yeah, I don't know. Those were weird games, and that was a weird era, I think, for a lot of gaming, but like specifically for Midway, when you saw them trying to come home with some of these games and make them work. They had some that worked and some that didn't. They had a bunch of original games that, whether it was fucking Dr. Mudo or like the updated, like, hey man, we made a new Defender. They did some stuff. they tried some shit. You forgot about Dr. Muto. What the fuck? I assume Dr. Muto is in here as a cameo character. I mean, I don't know why they would leave Dr. Muto. He's Midway's most famous mascot. Why would you, like, come on now. Yeah, no, Capcom had a weird time as well. You're right. Baron Spaghetti says, remember Capcom fighting Evolution? Yeah, man. Capcom fighting Jam or Evolution or whatever. Like, that was a fucking bizarre game. Capcom just kept collecting all of their different fighting games into different packages, and it felt like they had a different, they had a program. They had that Fighter's Edge loyalty program because they were putting out so many goddamn fighting games on PS1, and the Street Fighter collection is here, and now here's this X-Men game, and now here's this, and they're just re-releasing all these games over and over again. And so much so that they were like, hey man, if you buy a bunch of these, we will send you a bucket hat that says Fighter's Edge on it. And I have the Fighter's Edge bucket hat here somewhere, I think. Unless I sent it to the Video Game History Foundation already, I may have. They may already be in possession of the Fighter's Edge bucket hat. Yeah, SNK became a fucking pachinko company, and Midway put out The Suffering and some of that other stuff, and Capcom Fighting All-Stars. Capcom Fighting All-Stars, that's the game that got canceled, right? It's weird. I played it. I happened to go to the AM show in Japan that year. I think I've told the story, but I was there to interview the lead on whatever Soul Calibur 2 or 3 was being shown there. And so I flew out because we were getting this exclusive interview for Soul Calibur. And so I went out to Japan for like a third time that year instead of just the 2 or I guess it was 3 because there was usually 2. It was TGS, and then there was Space World for a while there. And then I went out for the AM show, and that was the year that Capcom Fighting All-Stars was there, and playing it was just like, it's funky, but I don't know, like they could have put it out. I don't know that it was like any better or worse than Capcom Fighting Jam was. Like it was maybe a little less conventional than that game ended up being. But I don't think that I don't think they missed out. I don't think that they dodged a bullet by not releasing it and instead going in the direction of Capcom Fighting Evolution. There's no way it could have not been better than Fighting Jam. Yeah, I know there's a little bit of footage out there. I'd have to. Maybe if we watch the footage, I'll be able to remember specifically like what the thing about it is. Is this gonna have a bunch of fucking? All right, let's. Oh gosh, we're just gonna mute this. Gaming mysteries. All right, this person has made a very long YouTube video out of not a lot of footage of this game.
Bringing it into 3D, but still retaining that 2D feel.
Okay. Yuri of Wind made this hot video here and then closely cropped all this footage here. Yeah, ultimately it was not that. This video is like killing me. Okay. Here we go. You know, I'll say we needed more games with Hagar in them. You know, Final Fight: The Revenge, or whatever, was never enough. Yeah, I don't know. I remember this game being like fairly normal, like, you know, not identical to every other Capcom fighting game that had come before it, but yeah, I don't know. Like, it seemed fine. It seemed like, you know, like a different roster. It didn't necessarily feel exactly like Street Fighter. You can see, you know, there's like a little bit of sidestep stuff happening, it looks like. And like a little bit of dash, you know, is it kind of dash in, dash out type stuff too? Like yeah. I do like the look of it. Did this ever come to the States? No, this game never came out. They canceled it. They put it out. It was at this trade show in Japan. And I don't know if I assume they did a location test also, but it eventually just got canned. But yeah, better than Capcom Fighting Jam, which is a pretty whatever fucking game. I feel like I don't dislike Capcom Fighting Jam as much as a lot of other people seem to. But that's not to say I'm going out of my way to ever fucking play it. What year was this? That's a good question. This is, What year was this? All right, it had a dramatic counter system. We wanted to make a game that was dramatic. Like a dodge and a counterattack all in one. Yeah, 2001-ish. Yeah, 2002-ish. That sounds about right. There's an interview that Capcom has up on their site, like a translated interview with Toyohisa Tanabe, who was the director for the game. Why wasn't it released? Looks like they worked on it for about 1.5 years, according to this interview. We had some internal testing, but it was very poorly received. Then we thought to redo it. We increased our staff members for that purpose, but then it ended up getting canceled for several reasons. I felt that Fighting All-Stars ended the way it did due to my inexperience. It caused problems to the company, and I'm sorry to the staff who worked hard on it and everyone who helped us. Even 10 years later, it's a bit difficult to talk about. However, I felt like I'd been saved a little bit when Ingrid appeared in Fighting Evolution. So yeah, they ended up kind of pulling her out of that game, and I guess DD was intended to be the main character of the game. DD and Rook were modified to become code holders. Ingrid and Death are natural code holders who were born with their abilities. Ingrid possessed cells that gave her longevity but didn't become weak. Death had a short lifespan, but in return he could use parts of his body to become dark matter. DD's nickname was Crimson Thunder, and he could attack using red-colored lightning bolts. He had the plus and minus marks on his gloves, one for each. And there was a character in this that was named Luke. Also. Yeah, I don't remember this game being anything particularly special. I remember playing it and going like, cool, man, it's another Capcom fighting game, and it seems like a little different with the sidestep. Like, it didn't feel like EX, and it didn't feel like normal Street Fighter either. It was kind of somewhere in the middle. And I remember I probably played 4 or 5 rounds on it and was just like, yeah, okay. But it never, obviously, got canceled, and that was that. I assume that this is from the show I was at. Oh, I should move my mouse, huh? Thanks to Smiley Burrito for the beats. The beats. Yeah, a little bit of Charlie up in here. It's, yeah, I wish that this game would get out. I wish that this game would have, like, hopefully someone has dumped the ROMs somewhere, or has a board, or, hopefully someone either involved with this project or someone who worked at Capcom later who saw it and recognized, like, we should hang on to this, like, stole it and dumped the fucking ROMs. Like, my hope is that this gets out in a way that we can play it someday. I don't know what hardware it is running on. I wonder if that's part of the information that's out there. Naomi? I don't know. I don't know that it was Naomi. It doesn't, I don't know. To me, it doesn't really have like a real Naomi look to it. Apparently, they'd also announced it for PlayStation 2. I did not know this. So this is, on the Wikipedia page for it. It says, following the release of Capcom vs. SNK 2, Capcom began work on CVS 3. However, the game was, this is a heartbreaking couple of sentences here. However, the game was canceled due to SNK facing bankruptcy at the time. As a result of the changes brought on by SNK's financial situation, a team of roughly 20 staff members left the company and joined Capcom, including Toyohisa Tanabe, the director of this game. The team decided to repurpose the assets created for CVS 3 into a new project, which became Capcom Fighting All-Stars. The presence of several of their former staff on the team led SNK to grant Capcom permission to put Kyo in the game. Yeah, System 246 makes sense if it was also going to release on PlayStation 2. So, like, okay. So here's the question. And that's the end of that footage. So here's the question you really have to think about now. If Capcom Fighting All-Stars used repurposed assets from CVS 3, was CVS 3 going to look like that and be fully polygonal? Because that sounds like something that would have been a fucking bummer. I don't know, man. Like, maybe we dodged multiple bullets on this project, because I don't know if that was the direction they were going to go in for CVS 3, like, maybe we're better off that it didn't happen, right? I mean, maybe it would have come out and been fucking rad and whatever, but like, when you think about where polygonal fighting games were in the early 2000s there, that 246, the PlayStation 2 arcade hardware, maybe we're better off. Rival Schools was great, but but Rival Schools was also its own thing. And so, and like specifically and Capcom Fighting All-Stars was its own thing, so that's great also. But if you had gone from Capcom versus SNK motherfucking 2, an incredible fighting game, the backgrounds, it's no CVS 1 on that front, but CVS 2 is an amazing fucking game. It's an incredible fighting game. Some might say one of the best fighting games of all time. If they had gone from that game to, hey man, we got this polygonal thing and maybe it's got some systems and some other stuff we're trying to figure out, and some of these things that they ended up using in All Stars, that would have been disappointing. That would have been and maybe the game would have been fine, like whatever, but like I just feel like from off the rip, I feel like that is like a fucking, you did what? You're good, you're making CVS 3. Wait, you're doing what? You're doing it how? Why? Don't do this to me. Why do you hate me? Why are you breaking into my house and pissing on things and setting things on fire? Why do you keep breaking up? Why would you do this to me? That would be a bummer. Probably. But I don't know, who knows? Yeah, the roster in All Stars, it was Akira from Rival Schools, Akuma, Alex from Street Fighter, Batsu from Rival Schools, Charlie, Chun-Li, DD and Death, our original characters, Dimitri from Darkstalkers, Luke, who was original character, Hagar, Ingrid, who's original character, Kyo from King of Fighters, Poison from Final Fight, Ryu, and Strider Hiryu. Interesting roster. Weird roster, right? But yeah, I don't know. A terrorist named Havel, under the codename Death, threatens to destroy Metro City using a small atomic bomb known as Laughter Sun. So, yeah, that's pretty good. And then, yeah, the Ingrid would go into Capcom Fighting Evolution, and a few of the ideas from All Stars would be into Evolution, but like kind of not, I don't know. Not awesome. What is sometimes I get a list of new games sent to my email address here, and I have to, this game is on Steam. It is out in a couple of days. It appears to be a beat 'em up. It actually doesn't, like, this footage doesn't look bad, but the name of the game is Mortal Street Fighter. Let's see if I have, hang on. Well, we're gonna take a look and see if I have access to this on the Epic Game Store, because it's not out on Steam for 2 days, but let's double check here and see if it has magically found its way into my Epic library. Because holy shit. Hang on, the Epic Game Launcher is doing that thing where it says preparing the Epic Game Launcher and sitting there for 45 seconds or more, even though I have like one game installed. Oh. Just preparing the Epic Game Launcher. You know how we do. Back with the, podcast on Tuesday. Well, so Tuesday will be interesting because the Gamescom thing is happening on Tuesday. So we'll do you know, like an hour of podcasting, and then we'll probably cut over to watch Keely's thing and see how that goes. Okay, how do I now? Can I click on any one of these and do any typing, or are we still a little unresponsive? Yeah, it looks like I can install this. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to take a look at Mortal Street Fighter. Oh. Okay. Please let me click the buttons. Oh, the Epic Launcher. I am not one of these guys that is like, oh, the Epic Launcher, but like, gosh, sometimes it is completely unresponsive. Sometimes it is downright miserable to use, and that's unfortunate. Okay. Here we have Mortal Street Fighter. Only the analog stick seems to work here. Let's go with Nathan. Let's turn this up. Hang on. You forget sometimes when you're used to Steam just automatically making light work of your PlayStation controller. When I click the left mouse, he punches. When I click right mouse, he kicks. But we may need to Alt F4 that and try to relaunch it with a hello. What? Oh gosh. With an Xbox style controller plugged in. And see if we have any better luck on that. Oh, we got him. There we go. Nope. I'm using WASD. Shift blocks. The spacebar jumps. The mouse punches and kicks. Like, it let me use the controller to pick characters and stuff. This actually looks all right. I don't know. Like, this isn't... Yeah, why is there a big pause button? That's a great question. Is this for phones? When I see big buttons like that, I assume that someone made it for a phone. Only one air attack. Punch and kick do the same thing in the air. This is absolutely serviceable. Like, I feel like it needs proper controller support because that's still not doing anything. No chip damage. Are they breaking my block? I don't think so. Press any key to continue. Oh, here we go. Level 2. Yeah. That's a good bat sound effect, as bat sound effects go. You know, something maybe came out of the Unity asset store. I don't know. Is there a... This is a really weird thing, man. It's like, I don't hate like the way it moves. I mean, it's awkward to play with a mouse and keyboard. Like, if it'd be better if it had proper controller support, sure. But that gun had 2 bullets in it. But the lack of variety on everything is a bit much. But like, you can block, you can jump, you can combo these punches and kicks reasonably well. Like it feels okay. It's got that downward attack, which is not bad. Like, I'll put it to you this way: this game is better than Renegade on the NES. How about that? Would have been fun if I could have juggled a little bit there or something, but but also like from a repetition or just overall visual quality or whatever perspective, this is about what I would expect from a game that's literally called Mortal Street Fighter. The most opportunistic name they could have maybe. I mean, if they put combat with a K in there, they probably would have gotten a nasty letter from Warner Brothers. So I was gonna say that would be, if they put that in there. But this game's literally called Mortal Street Fighter. I mean, I can't wait to see level 3, honestly. If Street Fighter had fatalities, who would do the best one? Akuma would probably have a pretty fun. Akuma would it would black out and come back up, and the guy would be ripped into pieces, right? Yeah, Dalsim would can like wrap his body around the guy, and squeeze them and rip them. Yeah, Hakan. You could oil them up, or oil up a big slip and slide. Throw the guy on the slip and slide so he slides into some wall, and then you set the oil on fire and burn him. And I dare a motherfucker to come in my face. No. Like it, you know, the fists and, you know, like the hits kind of combo together quickly in a way that feels like satisfying, but obviously, like, you know, they're not putting out much of a fight. But like, if this was like a proof of concept and you're like, hey man, we're gonna take this and we're gonna turn it into a beat 'em up. This is just our little the quick demo we made. I would come away from this going like, okay, yeah, you should put controller support in it, because that's silly. But like, this feels like a decent starting point for a beat 'em up. Of course, as a thing that they're about to start selling on Steam in a couple of days here, that's this is not going to fly. Now I want to, you know, we're on level 3 of 5. Like, I feel like we have to see how this thing, you know, how's this going to end? Take odds. I bet it will go back to the title screen with zero fanfare. Look at that airplane in the back. It's all busted up. Look, what more do you want? Give me that banana. Gotta Shazam this. Gotta, you know. That bat has a big nail through it, you know. That's, you can tell that these are tough fucking streets. I can block, I just don't need to. I love that the music stops. Like, hey, level complete. All right. Like, these are decent looking backgrounds. I don't know what you know, I don't know where they came from. You know, like, it's maybe this is some asset store type stuff, but like, this looks okay. It doesn't have any variety to it, you know? Like, but if taking a lot more damage here all of a sudden. I think I should be able to get... I guess I can't get multiple ground hits in on a guy. It's a weird choice. Come on now, let me go. Gotta block, man. So if you're just joining us here, we're going to wrap up here in a couple minutes. And this is coming to Steam in a couple days. And I believe it may be on the Epic Store right now. Mortal Street Fighter. Game of the Year contender. Well, you know, like... like there's kind of something to this. But again, like there's something to this in a way of like, look at this demo. Not in a like, look at this commercial product or whatever. You know, let's not be crazy here. No bomb rush. Yeah, well, you know, I have to go in a little bit, and there would not be enough time to really play Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, so we will hold off. So we can give it a proper look instead of rushing through 20 minutes of it and going like, all right. Feels like it should be on your phone. Yeah, I mean, the big pause button sends a pretty clear message, right? Broke that bat swinging at nothing. All right, level 5. Here we go. Looking I've never seen a level that looks like this before. This certainly doesn't look identical to level 2. Much like the level before of a level 4 looks a lot like level 1. Well, you know, the flow of these attacks, like it again, like there's the feel of the combat is decent for a game like this. Like it's not all bad. Like it's missing a game's worth of content, you know? And more variety in the attack, of course. Like you know, like obviously in enemy attacks and, you know, moves that you would have and stuff, like it seems like there should be more. Oh, brutal. Getting down to it, man. I gotta find a banana. Sort of like a banana. Check this out. Blah. None of these attacks do enough damage also. Whoa, guys appearing out of nowhere. All right, we got bananaed up. I'm just trying to get as wild as I can get. Like, put me in the hairiest situation you got and let me mash these buttons and see how it goes. That's the rule of Mortal Street Fighter. Oh! Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's Mortal Street Fighter. The player takes on the role of a fighter who has to fight enemies that appear on the way. The fight is mostly fisted. Whoa. Only from time to time, the player finds some kind of weapon on the stage. The characters in the game have specific designs for fighters. That's the Steam description. You know, what's the training room look like real quick? Okay. Oh, look at this. Here the mouse doesn't work, so I can't attack. That's cool. I can't. Okay. Well, that's that, I suppose. Let's read the rest of the Steam yeah. Mortal Street Fighter belongs to the category Street Fight. The player takes on the role of a fighter who has to fight enemies that appear on the way. The fight is mostly fisted. Yeah, this is the same as the paragraph here. The fight is mostly fisted. Only from time to time, the player finds some kind of weapon on the stage. The characters in the game have specific designs for fighters. The game is inspired by older games on the subject. This game is intended for people over 12 years old who want to experience a sense of nostalgia, remember their childhood. The mode available in the game is single player. This is written by AI, isn't it? This is like, they're like, well, we pulled some assets out of the store and compiled it, and then asked ChatGPT to define. The main goal in this game is for the player to defeat all the enemies that appear on the way, on the stage in hidden places such as barrels, crates, there are weapons that the player can use. The win condition occurs when the goal of this game is reached. The win condition occurs when the goal of this game is reached. The player loses when they are defeated by enemies. You know, this couldn't be fully AI generated because it is specific about weapons being hidden in barrels and crates, and I don't think that ChatGPT would necessarily pull that out. No way to quit the game other than that. Well, okay, so that's how much are they selling that for? We're going to look at the Epic Store here, because I believe it is just for sale there right now, even though it is not going to hit Steam for a couple of days. Let's look. 99 cents on sale right now for 79 cents. So get while the getting's good, I say. Right? I mean, it's on sale here for a couple of days, and then it's not even on Steam yet. So another hot Epic Games exclusive. I hear they paid $7 million to secure 2 days of exclusive rights to Mortal Street Fighter. So solid work all around on everyone's part. Oops, I closed the Epic Store without uninstalling that game. I can't not do that. Yeah, let's check the temperature on the on this Xbox fridge over here after 3 hours, and see what we got. See what we got. No. The answer is no. It feels ever so slightly cooler. Feels ever so slightly cooler, but not cool. Not drinkably cold. The top portion of it feels hot to the touch. Like when I open the door and above where the drinks are, that part feels very hot because it is, trying to push all the heat out, I suppose. Pretty stoked. Hell of a purchase. So real happy with it. It's got a USB port on it you can use to charge stuff. That's cool, right? Right? Well, I'm going to unplug this, and instead it's going to be a silly-looking giant Xbox that we can do something with here. I don't know what. But something will come to mind. Surely something will come to mind eventually. But the first thing I'm going to do is take all the drinks out of it and unplug it. Because it does not need to be taking power. Check the cooling setting. Yeah, it's got a switch. It's kind of like you turn it on, you turn it off. It's not really a cooling setting sort of deal. That's going to do it for me here. Thanks everybody for hanging out. That Mortal Kombat beta is pretty solid. And that's running the rest of the weekend. It's running until Monday morning. So, I guess if you pre-order the game, you can get in on that. If you are not in it already, Mortal Street Fighter is available now on the Epic Games Store and is coming to Steam on August 21st. So, strap yourself in. And Capcom Fighting All-Stars, if you're out there somewhere and you're in possession of a dump of that game, please, for the good of the people, let's get it out there. Let's get that in MAME. Let's make it happen. Let's get that. Let's get that added to Final Burn Neo. Get some retro achievements scribbled up for it, huh? Let's make it happen. Please, the people need this. Mike Hagar. You know what I'm saying? All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. I'll be back on Tuesday. We'll watch the Gamescom stuff and have ourselves a time. Take care.